Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's webcast. Yeah, I posted like a little inspirational meme the other day about people just feeling broken this past week and to keep moving forward. That's so important right now. I would love to tell you that the energy right now is awesome, but it's not. Like I said, I think people think that I'm not affected by it because I come on here and do these, inspirational messages and I try to keep everybody positive or I tell you what's going to be happening, whatever. But man, last week was a pounding. I'm telling you, remember I was talking about endings and realizing that things don't kind of match your vibration, realizing that maybe people aren't on the same level anymore as you and you kind of don't have much in common. It seemed like there was a period of time where these realizations were happening and things were kind of fading out and there were endings that needed to happen, maybe with it doesn't even have to be romantic relationships or business partnerships, but it could be just random things like having to end a long-term customer service, or let's say you have a physician for a long time or an accountant or like whatever, and all of a sudden you have to end that relationship. I would say the last time that I came on, these realizations were occurring and they were kind of like normal endings, but things where you just felt like it's time to kind of move ahead, move on. And it was kind of like the tide, things kind of just, I don't know what the word is. They kind of just receded out, or things just kind of dropped out. Let's say that you had to like have some conversations with people. We said that sometimes like that didn't go too well. But the last 3 days, wow, the energy has been so intense. I don't know if everybody's been feeling that. I know I have, the weather being so hot, but also we had a new moon, and we also have Mercury's out of retrograde. And you think, oh, congratulations, Mercury's out of retrograde. But the asteroid, what I was talking about last time, the asteroid Chiron is in retrograde, which brings up all your old wounds to process them. And this is kind of crazy, especially for people that have old trauma. Okay, so people that have any sort of childhood issues, dysfunction, maybe your parents got divorced, maybe you had some sort of, like, it doesn't have to be major trauma, it could be minor, but it's everything that you've run away from in your life is now just coming up and you have to kind of process it. And it's coming up in waves. But remember I was talking about those other kind of endings last week. Surprise endings happened this week and are continuing to happen. These are endings that you didn't see coming and that you're just like, wow, like where did that come from? And a lot of times, maybe some of these endings that are coming, you might think it's personal, but maybe it's not. Like, just people are kind of having trouble adjusting to that new energy. They're having trouble. If they've kind of moved toward that new energy, you have to be able to hold it. You have to be able to hold the new vibration, hold the new energy, or you're going to kind of fall back. So whatever was meant to be in your life now, it's going to be there. But like the things that you didn't release, oh my goodness, it's just going to be ripped out. So just be patient with yourselves. That's the best thing I can tell you, because this is a very intense cycle coming up. I actually, like I said, I can only see a little bit further ahead because there's so many changes happening with the world, depending on our thought processes. So each individual thought process contributes to the whole. So if I change my life and if I change my vibration and 10 other people come with me and change their vibration, that means you're changing everyone's vibration around you, which in turn could affect hundreds of thousands of people, right? So we're all shifting and changing at such a rapid rate. And like I said, in the last 2 weeks, you've made choices. You've made choices for the next 15 years. So when you made those choices finally around July 11th, some of the things that are happening now are a result of that third eclipse. But like I said, Chiron retrograde brings up old trauma. But this time, I would say over the past 15, 20 years, you've been able to like put it back down, most of you. This could be physical sensations in the body, people who have experienced emotional abandonment early on in life, attachment trauma, people with post-traumatic stress disorder, people with anxiety and depression due to early life circumstances. This is all early life trauma that is coming up, and it is not able to be put back down. And that's why you're feeling like either you're going to flip out, or you're going to like crawl under a rock, or you're just going to like push everybody away. It's crazy. Or you might see people around you going through this. I know Joanne is mentioning here how true this is with some members of her family, and this is real. This is real. So remember, I'm telling you that if you haven't had some surprise endings in the last 3 days, just realize that a lot of you will have those, and you might not handle them well because you might think it's personal, and it may, it's just that some things are just, they just need to go, even though you might think some things are healthy in your life, or some things are just part of this new vibration. I don't know. It's just like, it's hard for me to even tell you this, because it's like, well, I don't want to come on here and tell you that you're going to be having these things come up. But what's happening is the universe and the eclipses and Chiron and everything else that's been happening with the vibrational shift, there's no choice. You have chosen a vibration. Whatever is not meant to be in your life is going to be pulled out from underneath you right now. Stephanie asks, you mean people ending relationships with you? These could be any types of relationships. They don't have to be romantic. They don't have to be friendships. They could be, but they could be other types of relationships. They could be, people that you have worked with, like I said, like an attorney, accountant, like stuff, people that you've probably worked with for many, many years. You might get a surprise phone call. Oh, they just retired and never told you about it. And you're like, okay, well, what do I do now? Or somebody just pulls the rug out from underneath you, and you didn't see it coming. So you could be the one doing that to other people too. It doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. It could mean that you're the one deciding something like that, and it's coming as a surprise to other people. Carol, I'm not sure what DGT is. You're saying your DGT told you a couple days ago she doesn't want to work on our relationship. I don't know what DGT is, but you can feel free to clarify. Yeah, it's where we are. You've chosen the vibration. There's no more working on that vibration. Oh, your daughter. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's hard to really tell, over a Facebook Live kind of the dynamics of that situation, but that is pretty much what we're kind of feeling at this time. And what we have to do is, it's going to be hard for us because some of these relationship shifts are going to be like really difficult. And right now, it's important that we just accept it, because it's very easy right now with the intensity of what's going on, and some of these relationships are very important. It's very difficult to not hold on to anger, resentment, fear, any of those things, or want to like hold yourself to that relationship or try to fix it, because there are times where we can amend relationships. There are times where we could say, okay, this is happening or that's happening, and maybe we could work through it. But what you're dealing with here are, you've made choices. I've made choices. Everybody's made choices internally. And it's like the universe is being like, sorry, you can't be on this level with this person anymore. And if you're not going to make that choice, we're going to make that choice for you. Some of these things are just people having endings in their own life. some people falling way back into things that they probably didn't want to be doing, or they thought they were changing, they thought they were moving along with their vibration, they thought they were ending their cycles, and they really haven't. If you are in a space where you're ending a trauma cycle, you are having a tough time right now because it seems like it's getting worse. It seems like the things that are coming up are getting worse and they're not getting better. And you're like, well, why would I want to work on these things if I feel so bad? It's the stuff that you've been numb to for your whole life. That's why you haven't ever felt it. You haven't let yourself feel it. And we're in a situation now where we can't run from it. So you're going to feel pretty bad if you're working through some stuff. And I would urge you to sit with it. You haven't died from the pain so far. If you feel it, it's not going to kill you. Okay. But the choices that you make because you don't deal with it could cause you problems. Okay. So feeling it, and it's easier said than done. So what I'm telling you is much easier said than done. I have a pet chipmunk here on the deck. He's just ran by. Thank you for liking my wind chimes. I put them close by here. The birds, I don't hear the birds, but if you guys hear the birds, that's awesome. And there's a chipmunk. He's my friend. He comes up. I feed him bread, and he knows my smell, I guess. So he comes up a lot. And he sunbathes on the deck. There's some rabbits that have been coming up. So, we have like a little zoo up here. What is that on my porch? Oh, it's a gymnastics uniform. Okay. So, I know what I'm telling you is kind of like a little off or weird, but it's just kind of what's going to be happening. You thought the endings like that I was talking about before, and I thought this too until I tapped into more. Those endings were just like, okay, the vibration shifts are happening. You're either on that level or this level, and the people are going to separate that aren't on the same levels. But this stuff is like a little crazy. People are going off the rails, and they're just pulling out of life, whatever that means. And that could mean that they're pulling out of working on themselves. And if they're pulling out of working on themselves because if you're dealing with trauma and things are coming up and you feel pretty broken, you're only at the peak of the iceberg. And this is like the hardest, like the top of the roller coaster before you go down the hill. You're still making the climb. People really don't think maybe there's an end to it at this point because things have been getting so intense for people that they just decided not to take the ride. And if they decide not to take the ride and you're going down the roller coaster hill, then I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just, you're going to see some surprise endings. We're not up to the new beginnings part yet because always like, oh, surprise ending, new beginning. We're not there yet. But, we're getting there. So I just wanted to tell you what was going on. I don't know if some of you are experiencing this or not, but there's really not much changing in the world energy at the moment. It's pretty much staying the same. So now you're like I said, you're riding the ride, and that's where we're at. I'd be happy to take some questions if you guys have some, or you want to talk about what's been going on, or you want me to kind of look at your situation. I'd be happy to take a few minutes to do that. But those are my updates for today for the porch. And the energy is very heavy. It's very intense. I'm having a hard time wading through it. It feels a little bit like just brick walls are just like being like blown up, and all your emotions are coming out. So if you feel a little bit overwhelmed and you feel like things are hitting you from all directions, it's just kind of like that upheaval. It's that end cycle. It's where the Tower card in the tarot, it's everything has to crumble before it could be rebuilt. And that's kind of where we're at in the world. And that's kind of where we're at here. Carol, you're talking about you're working on fixing friendships. Like I was saying before, fixing things is not where the vibration is right now. It's about letting things be where they are and accepting them, because the vibration is going to control where everybody's at and what their decisions are going to be. So fixing things probably isn't going to work, and you're probably going to end up burning a lot of energy for nothing right now, because you can't fix somebody else's vibration. You can't fix where they're at. And yeah, I know it's hard because there's a lot of the things that are going on right now from the people's, excuse me, people shifting and the energy changing and separating, is that you might be separated from people you really cared about. And that attachment's hard. So let me just see what other people have to say. Yeah, Stephanie, the friendships are weird now. You don't speak to the closest ones anymore. Right. I was talking about this the last 2 weeks. If you haven't seen the webcast the last 2 weeks, it's all about that. In the last 3 months, if you've done your changes, the people that you used to be connected with, you just don't feel that connection with anymore. And so this is a limbo period. Let me see what else people say. Jamie, what about ending Facebook friends, cutting people out? I feel so guilty, but it's not people I mean much to anyway, but they posted last week when I turned 50. Well, happy birthday. That's a big change there. Don't want to think about some of those people. Just keep my circle small, but hate hurting people. Yeah, if you're thinking about other people right now and you're guilt about other people, you're in the wrong track, honey. You're like that train that just is in the station, but the track that's kind of gone off and isn't going anywhere. You're in a spin cycle with that, and that's not going to take you anywhere but down in vibration. Okay, so I recommend no Facebook where you're dealing with tons of people and you're dealing with people that aren't part of your innermost circle. And if you can't cut out Facebook, like for me, I have to have the business Facebook so I could connect with you guys. But for people right now, I think Facebook, or where you have a lot of friends and a lot going on and a lot on your feed, and you have these guilt issues, the codependent issues, it's not good for you because it's easy to read into things right now. So where you are, the people are going to either fade away or be cut out of your life, and you're going to have to pull away from people too. But this is part of your cycle, Jamie, and I think keeping your circle small is probably the best thing for you. And it totally makes sense because this is what I've been talking about for weeks. But like Carol was talking about, fixing people and trying to fix relationships right now, or trying to change people or get them to help themselves or get them to make changes in their life so that you could be part of their life, that's just like a losing battle at this point. If you're really high on vibration, people will probably pull away from you. Whatever's meant to be at your vibrations there, the other stuff's going to fall away. And there are some people that you know about that are supposed to fall away, and there are other people that may be holding secrets, okay, that you don't know. Like, do you know there's those people in life that they're like, oh, everything's fine, everything's like going well in my life, and they're telling you they're making all these changes. Some people aren't honest, and some people hold secrets. Oh, you saw the chipmunk, Lori? That's great. Where's the chipmunk? Is it behind me? Yeah, see, that chipmunk wants some bread. Yeah. So I got to feed the chipmunk. He wants to be on the webcast, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know where I was. My ADD just went off on another tangent in my mind. But yeah, so if you're trying to fix relationships, or you're feeling guilty about moving away from what doesn't serve you, you're going to be pulled down in vibration. You just don't want that to happen. Okay. Oh, the people. Thank you, Carol. The people that are holding secrets. So you could get confused right now because you're thinking, oh man, I cut out all the negative people that are honest with me about their drama, and they're honest with me about what they're going through, and they're not trying to hide that they're going through tough times. But then there are other people that are like, no, everything's great. I'm doing my personal work. Everything's awesome. And you're thinking that they're on the level with you. You're thinking that they're moving forward with you. And when those people have surprise endings in your energy, that doesn't make sense. And those are the ones that are going to hurt because you're not going to understand why. But really, there's secrets. There's things that are being kept from letting you know where people really are at. Because some people have a hard time saying, hey, I'm just not in a good place. So be aware of what you're seeing on Facebook with people. It's not always the truth. You know, be aware of what people, when they call you and tell you, oh, everything's great. Like, maybe you're not seeing what's going on behind the scenes. Oh, hi, Chloe. It's good. It was good to talk to you the other day, too. Yes, Carol, this is rain. Rain is coming down. I'm not a big humid person, and it's very humid, so I'm a little tired of the humidity, but I love the rain. So this is a great time for rain to come down. So yeah, rain is a good time for those of you exploring your intuition. That's when you could really tune into your intuitive abilities, is when it's raining. That's when the spirits or the veil is likely to be very thin. So the rain's coming down a little harder now, and it's probably coming, I don't want to get like rained on, so I'm going to stay about another minute or two and then sign off for the porch for the day. Hope all is well with you guys. Let me see everybody else. Hi, Julia. Hi, Stephanie. Lori, Carol, Jamie, Lisa, Christy, you're starting new projects but distracted by a living situation. How do you stay focused in a strange pandemic caused living situation? Oh, that's a good question. You get a door or a wall and you put it up and stay behind it. that's the only answer I have. Because if you're like me, I'm going to feel everybody's energy in the house, whether like I'm in another room or not. So take a room that you already have. If it's a guest room, turn it into your office. You know, have a contractor come. If it's somebody, you know, put up a wall, put up a door. It's the best thing I could say right now, but it's good to be working on those creative projects. All right. Well, thanks guys for listening to me. I'm listening to the rain. I'm going to go chill. And I hope that makes sense to you. And I hope that when I come back next time, it's moving forward energy. And, but unfortunately, or fortunately, this is the process we have to go through to get to that next level. So hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.